Okay, so now we're going to move on to coding the website. So we're going to go back into our website folder. We've got our images, PSDs. What we're going to need now is two files. We're going to need one called index.html and style.css. So we're going to create those. We could just create text files and do that, but what we're going to do is I want you guys to use the editor. You could use Adobe Edge Code, but so that we're all doing the same thing, go ahead and use Sublime Text. So if you open up your browser, go to sublimetext.com. It's going to pull this up, and you're going to click download at the top. And for Mac, you can download OS X version. For Windows, do the Windows, and none of you are running Linux, so don't worry about that. So you're going to download that, and then once you get that done, go ahead and open that up. So I'm going to open it. I've already got it installed, so I'm going to open it up. To Sublime Text. And it's going to open up a blank page like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is this is going to be our HTML page. So you guys are going to need to pay attention closely, and you probably need to stop, pause, and make sure you type things correctly, because the mistake on this will make it so it doesn't work right. So first thing we're going to do is, if you guys recall, we talked about tags. But the first thing we need to do for an HTML page is declare its what type of that it's an HTML, or what type of HTML. So we need to type. Let me make sure I've got that right. Okay, yeah, write all one word, doc type, HTML, close. So we've got an open and a close, and that declares a doc type. Next thing we want to do is we want to do an opening tag. Remember, a tag usually has an open and a close. So we just write the open HTML opening tag. That indicates that's where everything between that and this closing tag is going to be there. So now we're going to put return, we're going to close this tag. Now a close tag looks just like the open tag, but has a backslash, where your question mark is on the keyboard. And then there you go, like that. HTML. So now our whole website is going to go between those two things. So let's go ahead and save this so that we can get our HTML file there. Name it index.html. I'm going to place it inside that same website folder, not in its own thing, but just right here, index.html. Okay, notice your color will probably change because now it knows it's an HTML file, and it's going to help you by differentiating by color some different elements. So I'm going to get some more space in there. Next thing we want to do is we've got the main HTML tags. Is we're going to have, let's see, we're going to have a content area that's going to have the background image. So that's going to be body. So we're just going to create a body tag. Now, body is an official HTML tag, so that's why we're using it. For the other shapes, we're going to use divs, but we'll talk about that later. So we're going to close that. So caret close body. All right. So now we're going to delete this space right here. So now we've got our HTML and then a body enclosed in that. So all we're doing right now is laying out the structure, not necessarily what it looks like, but the structure. And if we want to preview this, we can save it, and we can double click, and this should open up in your browser of what it will look like. Now there's nothing there because it's just blank. Now if I were to type, hey, what's up, here, and save it, and now open this up, you're going to see, hey, what's up? Okay, well, I'm going to put that right there so we can refresh it as needed. And I'm going to type, well, let's think here. We've got our body, and it has a background image, but we won't put that image in the HTML. That's going to be in the CSS. So what other elements do we have on our page? Well, let's take a look at our Photoshop. Remember when you wireframed, you broke it down into different elements, which is helpful. So we've got paragraph, we've got button, we've got title and picture, and then we've got a box. So what we need to do is we need to create the box, and then everything here is going to be inside that box. So let's go back to Sublime Text, and let's do div, so we're going to type a caret div, and if you let it autocomplete, it automatically puts that closing one in there. Alright, so div. Now, inside this div is going to be everything. So we're going to name this div a box, and we can name it by giving it a class. So we're going to type within that first caret. See that caret right there? So inside that, we're going to type class equals, and then quote mark, box. Okay, so now we just gave that a class. So we're going to save that. And you'll notice there's still not going to be anything on the web page itself. We're just setting up the structure. And in that box that's going to be our gray box. So within that box, we've got an image, a title, subtext, paragraph text, and a button. So let's see here. Let's make this one div and then this another div. So we're going to break it into two sections. We're going to break it into 1 and then 2. So we're going to go in here and we're going to tab over so that we can tell the difference between the divs. Div class equals, and we're going to name this top, and then we're going to close it, and we're going to add that closed div. So that's one box, but that's the top. And then since the bottom is not inside the top, we're not going to put it in between here, but it's inside this big box, so it still will be in between there, but it'll be a separate element. So we're going to tab over and go div class equals bottom. We're going to close that. Then we're going to put the closing tag on there. So now we've got two different boxes, top and bottom, within box. You won't be able to see anything yet, but you will later. Let's see here. Next thing we're going to do is let's put what we need inside these things. So in the bottom div, we're going to have a paragraph text, title text, and a button. In the top one, we're going to have an image, a title text, and another title text. So let's get the image in there. We could let's put it in its own. Let's just do an anchor. So we're going to do this anchor is a tag, a specific tag, and then we're going to do image. Well, let's just create the A first. So here's the anchor. So what we're going to do is put the image in between there. So that requires another tag-like thing. So notice how it pops that up. I'm going to hit that. It's going to populate image source equals, and now we have to tell it where the image is. So let's go back to here, and it's wanting to know relative to its own file. So the file is here, so our image is inside images. So we need to tell it it's inside images, and its name is avatar.png. So let's do that. Let's go images / avatar.png, and let's save that, and let's see what happens. Oh, look at there. There it is. Now watch. If I mistype that, it doesn't know. It's going to give a question mark. So you got to make sure you type things correctly, and it's looking relative to the index file. So in images, then avatar. So there it is. So that's where it is, but we'll have to position it correctly later. But now that's inside that anchor. Now what else we need is the text. So we're going to create let's do and we, you know, as I do this, we may have to go back and change some of this. But let's plan on. We may have to put another box in here, but for now we're going to do an H1. H1 is one of the tags for headers. Header 1, header 2, header 3, and it goes all the way through like 6. H1 is the biggest. So we're going to put our text in here now for our header. And it says, in mine, Wombatish. Okay? So let's go back here. Wombatish. Now watch, I'll save that. Oops. And yeah, it'll tell you who wants to buy or something like that, but just skip that. Okay, there it goes. And it pops up Wombatish. Now you can see it. It's not in the right spot, but that's okay. We're going to take care of that later. Alright, so the next thing is H2. So this is the other header, and it says, "'Cause wombats are cool." Then we're going to close that. There we go. Now watch, we save that. Refresh. Boom. There it is. Wombatish. See how it's smaller? That's because it automatically knows H2s are smaller than H1s. However, we'll style it ourselves and make it look like we want it to. Okay? So what more do we need? Okay, we've got this category taken care of, that the top section. So now we need to put the stuff in the bottom. So we need an H3, because this is even smaller than the H2, and it's going to be called "Why Wombats Are So Cool." We're going to close that. And then we're going to do a paragraph, which is P, and this will be where we put the paragraph of text. I'll just put that as a placeholder for now and close that out. Okay, save. Going to go back here and refresh. Okay, there it goes. Why wombats are so cool. This will be where a paragraph of text. So we see everything popping up. You see, you can click it, drag it, select it. It doesn't look right, but that's okay. All right, next thing we need to do is get that button. So we're going to use an anchor again. Anchor. And we're going to do it class equals button. And it's going to say click me. And we're going to close that. I'm going to save. Okay, so there we've got an anchor that click me. Now I'm going to add, this is going to be a button. It'll look like a button later, but right now it just looks like text. We want to link that. So I'm going to add that link. So what you have to do is within this first caret, you got the open, close of that caret, and then the closing tag. Well, within that first one, we're going to put a space, and we're going to type href, href. Let me make sure this is right. Hopefully I got this right. Href equals, and then we're going to put a web address. We're going to do apple.com. Let's save that. And let's see what happens. There. Now see it turns into link text. Now if I click it, oh, it tried to take me to my desktop, apple.web.com. So we need to put a www in front of that. Whoa. www. There we go. Save. Refresh. You can do that up here. Click me. That still didn't work. Ah, problem solving. One of the most fun parts, isn't it? Alright, so let's save that. Alright, I must be doing something wrong. So, let me look at this real quick. If you go to w3schools.com, it gives you some real helpful things. Let's see. Href equals quotes HTTP. Okay, well maybe I need to put that in front of it, HTTP. So let's try that. http://w.apple.com. Now let's see. Yes, now it knows it's a website. So now it takes you over there. So that's how you add a link. We'll change that to something else, probably like, I don't know. Let me Google a site real quick. Wombat site. National Geographic Pictures of Wombats. Alright, we're going to select this, we're going to copy it. And then I'm going to come into my Sublime Text, I'm going to select my www.apple.com and paste it there. Oh, actually I had the HTTP, so I need to get rid of this other one. So now, there it goes. Now, if we refresh this, and we click this, it's going to take me to that. So now my button links out to some information about wombats. Alright, so we've got everything there. Now we need to make it look right. So we're going to save this, save it like that, and we're going to create a new file. So we're going to go to File, New File. And we're going to call this one, let's just go ahead and save it right away. We're going to call it style.css.